Hello again, YouTube. Just an update on our garden project. You can see it's still a garden. We did only have a couple of losses so far and some pepper plants. I'm not sure what got to them, but they were kind of chewed off at ground level. Sorry if the wind is it's really kind of breezy out here. If you can't hear me, but I'll try to keep turning around. Maybe you'll catch it, but we lost one little plant here and lost another yellow pepper plant. We've replaced this one with another pepper plant. It's probably going to be a spicy pepper plant, not another bell pepper, which is what is in this line. We're hoping that's going to be good. We also have some progression with this first section here is our onions, and as you can see, we have onions popping up through the ground, through so far a good 60% of the patch here, and of the patch here we have several ones coming up. These are just regular white onions, brown onions, whatever my wife planted. But like I said, we have several of them popping up already, so it's a good sign that we did something right. All of the rest of our peppers seem to be doing okay. They look lively enough for us. We did have a couple of deer come through the other night. They did not come into the garden. Luckily, with the fence that we have right now, the next couple of days we're going to be having some other fencing brought in, and hopefully nothing will get in there. We also added to our little garden family here, and we have underneath these little plastic caps are artichokes plants that are started. We got 4 of those, and they're kind of like little mini greenhouses right now, just until we make sure that they're gonna be able to stay alive out here. And then we added these 4 rows, which are potatoes. The first 2 rows are standard just white potatoes, the red skin white potatoes on the inside. And then the second 2 rows are the ones that we're pretty much the only people out here growing, which are the purple sweet potatoes. And that is basically a purple yam. It's purple on the inside, purple on the outside. It's much more fibrous and dense than a regular sweet potato, and it just kind of freaks people out that it tastes like a sweet potato, but it's purple. Everybody thought, when I brought some sweet potato pie to work last time, they all thought I had put food coloring in it, because it was glowing purple. That's how strong this stuff is, but it is awesome. It tastes just like a sweet potato. Makes really good sweet potato pie, makes really good yams. These other potatoes are just, like I said, regular purple potatoes, white on the inside, purple on the outside. And we're hoping that they're gonna keep producing. We had started these from actual potatoes, and got all these plants from actual potatoes starting, instead of from seeds or from starter plants that we bought from the store or something. We actually grow these our own. And yeah, there goes our noisy neighbors, as usual, right on time. We live near an air base. Planes fly over all the time. That's actually fairly high, so that's not even a bad one. Let's see what else. We've got our raspberries. Don't know why, to me they don't look healthy. They just look like sticks. I don't know if that's the way they're supposed to be right now or not. They had a couple of leaves on them before they started to rain, and then we had some rain and some wind, and so hopefully they're continuing to take. I don't know. Grape still looks good. The other grapes still look like sticks, so I'll probably be yanking those out. If I don't, I'll do a scratch test on the bases of them to see if there's any green in the stalks. If so, I'll leave them. If not, they're going to be coming out, and we'll be purchasing some more grape plants so that I can build a trellis for them. We still do have all of our cantaloupe and other melons that are just here free ranging by the straws that are marking them. Our peach tree made it through the high winds that we had and is standing strong and looking really nice. 3 fig trees looking nice and healthy. So we're quite happy with the gardening so far. We are going to add some at least one tomatillo, if not a couple of other ones. My brother Pyro wants to give us a couple of plants to see if they'll take in the garden here and how they'll produce. He's just growing them in some little starter plants right now on his deck, and he offered some to us so we can see how they're going to do. So we've set aside a little area here so we can put them in and see if we can get some tomatillos. See how that works out. Radishes are almost time for them to be yanked out of the ground so that we can separate the strawberries into another row here. Unfortunately, we'll have to either pull the red leaf lettuce. My wife wants to just leave it there since she just cuts it off and eats it, but we'll see how that goes. But we have good radishes, and then we have the radishes going to seed pods, and we're going to collect all those and be able to have a lot more radishes, because these are, for the size that the radishes are, they're probably 6 to 7 inches in diameter, and they can get about a foot long. They're really used for a lot of different Asian foods, and because of the size and the weight of them, they can get kind of expensive at the stores. That's why we decided to grow some, and they had no problem growing in the soil that we have here. Garlic still progressing really nice. Don't know when we're going to be cultivating that. I think we're waiting for those to possibly get a couple of plants to seed up, and then we'll start to pull some and thin it out a little bit. Our green onions growing right along. A couple of those got some seed pods going, which will be really good. We can do some more starter plants. Asparagus is growing super tall. The wind was actually starting to knock them down, so we had to put a cage around one of them just to keep it up. And then we tied the other one together. So we have to be careful of that. I may have to put like a little trellis or something along this as well. I didn't realize how tall these things are going to get, but they're taller than me, so that means they're at least 6 to 7 foot tall at the tallest part if it wasn't bending over. So that is a pretty tall plant. But as it gets tall and skinny, the wind will take it and it'll snap it off at the ground level, which we don't want. So whatever we can do to help to keep the plant going, the better. This is also an annual plant, so it stays in the ground year-round. You just cut it off a few inches from the ground, and it just keeps regrowing from that point. And it gets nice and thick stalks, and it takes a couple of years for it to actually get to this point where you can actually start to eat it. So if you are expecting to get asparagus the first year out, good luck with that. It'll only be little tiny ones like the little plant here. To get this big here, this has been a year and a half growing for it to get to this point. There's a couple of smaller stalks we could probably eat if we want, but we're looking for this one to seed up so that we don't have to buy the starter plants again. And then once it seeds up, we'll cut it, and then we'll let it grow back again. But we probably won't start eating this until the second year or even the third year because they tend to be a little more bitter when they first start out. So we want to make sure that they are good, stable plants and continually produce some asparagus for my wife. I've had some other people test these, and they just tell me that it tastes like corn to them. I don't know, they're a bunch of rednecks out here, so they probably don't know what real food tastes like anyway. But that's what we've got so far with our little garden. Talk to you later.